Advocate is my name. Mr. President, with due respect to all questions asked to you because you're the head of state, but I want to be inclined to the theme of today about lawyers. Mr. President, just like you said, it took you 7 years to complete your law degree, but I want to tell you that it may take you 14 years to get your practicing certificate. I want to use this platform to bang the table to inform you to charge the people who can influence, because I know we have the shadow government, but you're also the president of this country. Mr. President, I want to report to you that it can take 7 years or even more after one completing the law degree or even a bar course that they don't get their practicing certificates. This in one way or the other affects the justice system. Some of us who want maybe to participate actively are stopped.
Thank you so much.
So from this perspective,
yes,
you can reach out to the law because it's in parliament or any other alternative and rally lawyers to challenge the law council to expedite the process of getting practicing certificates so that we can participate
thank you
in the change of this country.
Thank you so much. 2 more questions behind over there. Good morning. Afternoon, everyone. I think you know me. I'm the citizen. My hobby, how are you? Mr. Kyagulanyi? Mr. how are you? Yes. For me, as I always tell you every week, the Human Rights Commission is where human rights go to die. The Ugandan judiciary is where justice goes to die. The Election Commission is where elections go to die. I think we saw what happened last week on Thursday. They deposed the Ugandan Law Society. So therefore, Mr. President, and I put it to you and my question to you is, can't we create a new system which does not involve, at least for the elections, the Ugandan judiciary, create some sort of tribunals which can handle election petitions expeditiously, so that at least the lawyers show that they are doing something. Because running to those incompetent judiciary, we have a corrupt judge at Court of Appeal, there's, I'm told, a rapist judge at Court of Appeal, we have all really, you can say our judiciary is just from, and the very judiciary condemning its own for being corrupt, for being, all sorts of things. So therefore, and you have that platform, a separate maybe tribunals which handle election petitions, and then, help us handle that. Such that we don't have people appealing, personal callers, win has been challenged. It was decided, Court of Appeal, we don't know when it will hear. So thank you, Mr. President. Can we have that forum? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Will you check that for now?
Thank you very much. The questions are interesting. Now, Chiseka asked me in Uganda, he said, it's a very good woman to say. I know that we are supposed to use the national language, but again, I understand the language in which he asked.
It's all the official language, not national language.
Thank you. Thank you. It had to be my own. Thank you for the correction. For the first time, we got me almost off that.
All right. Robert Amstein.
Yeah, so, Musaba Muzikirize, Chiseka Manubule, mu Uganda. Chiseka wabuziza nti nabagamba nti n'omwaka tegujja kuwera nga Museveni muggyeko. Era n'obuuza nti mukuti osibengenda okozesa kati olaba maanyi mbanjagala nnyo ne munfuna bulungi naddala mu bannamawulire era obuzibu obusinga okubeera mu nsi kwogera ekigambo n'ekigenda okuva mu kamwako okutuuka eri abantu bwekigamba nga kituusibwa emirundi 10 nabagamba era nkiddamu nti Museveni bwe tuba tukoze kye tulina okukola n'omwezi takumala basagamba mwaka bwe tuba tukoze si bwe mba koze bwe tuba tukoze kyetunokola nga bannansi mwabo bannansi naawe kwoli singa obadde oyogedde Lujamani nandirowoozeza nti oba oli mugongo naye ogedde oli mukikakasa nti olina kulimanya Uganda nga naawe kwoli era nenjagala okubasaba obuuza nti bukolyo ki bwengenda okukozesa njagala nnyo okubasaba mwenna abampuliriza abali wano n'abagaliyo tiena ensonga si ya Kyagulanyi yekka obuzibu bwe businga okuva mu nsonga za Uganda kwe buzirekera omuntu omu Dr. Semogere tubikulekedde tulwani Dr. Leslie tubikulekedde tulwanire paka bamukoya amagenda kwako Kyagulanyi najja Kyagulanyi twafuna gwe twamala temwafuna nze lumba mwafuna nze nange nabafuna mwe lwaki mwagala mufunize nyonipafuna so njagala bwe mufuna nange mbafuna tukole kye tulina okukola kubanga mwe mujja n'okusinga okunyumirwa Uganda nga tumaze okutuuka mu nsi ensuubizi abamu bajja kuba batumenyemenya amagulu abalala tukyalamire kulwomera abalala tukyeyagala bulungi budde bwekiro olwabyo batuyisizaamu so kyetulina okukola tunakikola ffenna ng'eggwanga si nsonga ya Kyagulanyi eno nsonga yaffe ffenna era bwe tukola kyetwetaaga okukola nekibanga tekinnatuukirira ekyo temukikozesa kuyeeya Kyagulanyi oba kujerega Kyagulanyi wabula mwefumiitirize mulabe oke kyetukozeeko kyekino wabwe tukomye kiki etusobola okwongerako okutuuka gyetulina okutuuka engeri yokayoka gyetugenda okwetaasa ng'eggwanga. Thank you very much. Wandera asked me about different channels of addressing injustice. We have used different channels in to pursue all avenues to fight for justice, to demand for our missing people, who the government, through the Prime Minister and very many other government officials, have come out and admitted having them, but are not giving them to us. So we are pursuing every available legal and constitutional means. But again, we will not block the way, or we are not standing in the way of other Ugandans that are equally paying, that are pursuing other ways. In 1980, while the Ridandi studies and the single villages were pursuing political and legal means, Museveni and his friends pursued forceful and violent means. So just like the Ridandi studies of the 80s, we are not standing in the way of those that are trying to free themselves by any means necessary. Neutrality is complicity, but there's no community for only brave men, my brother said. And he's asking me, what advice do I have for the cowards? My brother, you the coward, you better die. Anyway, on a serious note, and I will quote one of my friends. You see, I have so many friends in the music fraternity, and there's this friend of mine who annoys me so much, but one of my favorite friends. His name is Chaga. I was chatting with Chaga one time, and I got angry. I said, you guys are our friends. You Chaga, you are a known artist, you're a popular artist. Why the hell are you silent? Why don't you speak out? Because you are an artist, you are known. Chaga says, Bobby. Olaba, nemi sera ya mama comments never Martin Luther King. Why go bachariba? In Uganda, Chaga say, you see, Bobby, even in the days of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they had friends who were cowards. They did not kill them. So please don't kill me. I understand that our courage is not at the same levels. And I'm not in any way claiming to be courageous. I always say I'm only desperate. I just don't have any other option. And I'm sure you too can be as courageous if you run out of options. But now that you still have the deceitful options, and you choose to identify as a coward, there's also something that you can do. Coward. This is what you can do. Number one, Don't be used. If you can't be on the front line fighting for better or defending others, at least don't be used. There is a saying that we were told by my comments that no one can make you a slave without your permission. We permit our oppressors with our actions or omissions. We facilitate our oppressors. So if you fear to do something, then don't do anything in support of the oppressor. But again, you can do something in a safe way. We are living in the days of social media. You can tweet and post and make sure you push message forward. You can be underground. There are many people that you know and many that you don't know that are actually very helpful in our struggle. Some of them are even working in public offices. Some of them are officers in the regime. I won't give you their names. But because they fear to lose their jobs, they fear to lose their status, they fear to lose their life, they only help us or help the struggle silently. So in this day and age of options, clearly everybody can do something to further the struggle, even the cowards. I thank you. Now, the People's Advocate asked me a question. He talked about the compromised system and a dysfunctional legal system. I'm very glad Senior Counsel Benjamin Katana had me, and I request that you permit me, ask him to help me respond to that to this humility. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think it is important for us to appreciate that there cannot be a safe room in a banking house. The industry, just like the rest of the country, is undergoing challenges on account of the dysfunctionality of the NRM regime. So the only way out is not to approach it piecemeal, that you are pushing for faster processing of practicing certificates, that you are pushing for faster processing of ABC. It's important that we collectively work towards an overhaul of the entire system. And that will begin by removal of the dysfunctional regime. And establish a government that is not extractive in nature. A government that is service-centered and people-centered, not a government that works for the people. Today you will process that, but the next day you go to the hospital and again you will be shocked by the dysfunctionality. The next day you take your child to school and you will be shocked by the dysfunctionality. So what we are experiencing now, acknowledges fine sabotage my point, but nevertheless I will make it. Okay, thank you. The regime is experiencing a multiple organ failure. And our responsibility as citizens of Uganda is to make sure that we put this to rest and bring into office a government that is people-centered. And I have a question about people being the cowards, the brave. I think it is very important for the people of Uganda and for you lawyers to appreciate that what we are involved in is not electoral competition between Museveni and the NRM regime. What we are involved in is a war to reclaim the soul of our nation. And so, you will not leave the work to be done on. You will say, I don't support NUP, or I do not support the leader of NUP. But this fight is for you. as a citizen of Uganda, to make sure that a lawyer as advocate of the people, or people's advocate, you are able to process your documentation without unnecessary delays. That when you go to hospital, you are able to be treated without unnecessary delays. So the people of Uganda must understand that what you are involved in is not an electoral competition, but a war to reclaim the soul of Uganda, and we must all embrace it, regardless of whether we like NUP, whether we like its leader or not. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Katana. The last question was more or less similar to the previous one that has been answered. However, there's a question that came through the message to those that have given up on elections. I gave it an answer, but that's a very important question that I would want to have different perspectives about. So allow me, Councillor, to invite you to respond to that question.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Very delighted to be here today. Very interesting questions that have come on the floor. Well, our message is that the people of Uganda need to know that if you do not participate in elections and in governance, then you lose the right to complain when things go wrong. And that's what we've seen. We've seen, even with the massive rigging and election fraud that we see in all these elections, we see that the voter turnout is very, very low. Honorable Nankola here, I don't remember what the exact percentage was, but it was below 20%. The people who turned out, below 20% of the people. So 14.4%. So you can imagine if, that is to exclude the ballot boxes which were kicked by regime thugs and all that. But even if we were to add all those, I don't think we would hit the 20% mark. So if 14% of the people come out to vote their leaders, how do you then wake up every day ranting on X that things have gone wrong? Look at what is happening now. These elderly people are having their primaries. People who have stolen iron sheets have come back in proceeds from that. They are now distributing money and all that. Money that they have stolen from these poor people, they are giving it out to different people, and these different people are ready, in some cases, to go and vote them again. So I think there has to be an awakening of the consciousness of the people. And for us as NUP, we talk about the protest vote. To say that the protest vote begins with a massive voter turnout. Our president has already said something. He says it in Uganda, but I also say it in English. If you do not come up to vote, and then the regime is able to mobilize, to pay people, to bribe people, and they come up to vote, and then tomorrow why would you complain when things continue going south? We've been telling people that if you do not come up at your village to vote for an LC1 chairperson, and a village thief is elected, then don't start complaining tomorrow when your chicken begins to disappear. Because on the day when you were supposed to go out and vote, you chose to stay home. So that is our call, that this time around, the election is coming up. I think the president was, maybe deliberately did not mobilize you or charge you lawyers to come out and vote for him. He's an opposed in our party for the presidential flag bearer. I want this opportunity to call upon all lawyers, come and vote for him and support the National Unity Platform. Because the National Unity Platform is the only party that will guarantee social justice and fairness in the management of the affairs of this country. But the most important point is that on that day, prepare for voting day the way you prepare for important days in your life. We see people prepare for weddings as if it's a very do or die. Lawyers prepare for court. You write in your diary, you say on this particular day, I have a very important case. I have a mediation. I have an arbitration matter to handle. So why don't you prepare for an election day the way you prepare for these big days?
We've been telling the young of Uganda, they normally prepare. When they hear that an artist, an international artist is coming to Uganda, they prepare for months. But when it comes to an election, someone goes and they see a long queue, they say, I will not go there. So, the only thing we did, for example, to get the victory for Honorable Narukola is because we protested. People protested. People stayed at polling stations and said we are not going to leave these polling stations until our results are announced. And the people followed those results to ensure that they are announced. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Jones, and please bear with us. I want to thank you for asking for the vote from me. And I reiterate that request, guys, please vote for me. I'm your own. The other old guy is not a lawyer. I am. You'll bear with me. It would be very necessary for us to live here. I mean, it would not be characteristic of what we stand for if we live here only having heard male voices. So allow me to invite my Deputy President in charge of Northern Uganda and also the Senior Council, Mamali Natebiga. They just give us a word from a woman to the women and to us the men.
Yes. That is my president, that is our president, the intergenerational, the icon, the enigma. Yes, thank you so much, Your Excellency. You have my vote, and my address is specifically to the women. We are bearing the brand of this militarized, monetized space called Uganda. Our bodies have become the interview panels. Interview through sex. Yes, we have the evidence. I'm a member of Uganda. Your dignity is being violated, even your own children and grandchildren. We should be so annoyed to reclaim our dignity, our identity as the women, especially the women lawyers. Run for all positions possible under the NUP. Defend, proclaim, recruit, and if they steal our votes, demand. As women, we can do it. By example, I am here. In my late life, going to be 64 this year. But here I am, because I would like us to leave a legacy like the Wangari Maathai. Why are we living incognito? What is your legacy as the women lawyers? And especially those from northern region, where we are, our people right now are being threatened all over. I got messages and shared. They want to portray northern region as NRM infected and infested. It's not true. It's not. Exactly. So, as Dr. Eliud Kipchoge said, rightfully, the iconic Olympian, he says no human is limited. People look to us as the lawyers. We need to ensure that we address the root cause of why Uganda will have degenerated to this level of disrespect for human dignity, disrespect for rule of law, disrespect for dialogue, disrespect for humanity, and therefore uproot it and be at the table as we set and reset to reclaim human dignity, to reclaim our motherland. We can do it. It's not only for our president, but each one of us multiply yourself and be courageous. Even those who believe they are cowards, you are not cowards. You just want to deny your human dignity. Reclaim it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, both physically present and those that are online, we would like to notify you that whereas we appreciate the questions that are flowing in, showing the love to this topic, which has always been something that we advertise using a radical new bar, we have information that the president of NUP has another schedule, and we would like to request that he be allowed to wind the day as far as this function is concerned in order to attend to other functions. As we know, he's a very busy man. It took so much to get him here. We usually have our activity of this nature on Thursdays at 11, but we got a call as the ULS to kindly and exceptionally allow that this function be held on Tuesday. So kindly bear with us, but we would like to acknowledge the questions that have been coming in online from one Eli Kasirie, one Nabudi Asia, one Naula Joseph from Zoom, one at Woki, another Gaga Joseph Gali, and one from Wallace. As you are informed, Mr. President, this is an online program as well that is being watched by thousands of members of the public and the advocates, over 5,000 plus. So we receive questions endlessly, and you are a person of interest. And it also just leaves us with a lot to discuss. So kindly allow the president to wind the day, and before that, we would like to invite the council member from the East to take us through the next agenda item, that is something very critical in order for us to carry the day thereafter. Thank you so much.
Okay, wow, so much flying around this room here. I won't take much time. Mr. President and those online, those physically present, I'm hoping you're having a good time. Councilman Mabilizi. Please allow Lisa Ward to be seen by the President. We recently awarded Council Mabilizi for a decade of rule of law advocacy. As is customary, Mr. President, we always put pen to paper. We don't want to just talk and keep talking. We want to walk the walk. On previous occasions, we have made declarations and signed with the many of our guests a commitment to election justice, to a violence-free, transparent, and fair process. We have designed the one this afternoon. Now, not just to read through it, but just to be able to understand what we are signing this afternoon before we can let you attend to your other day's engagements. The title is the Declaration of Alliance Against Electoral Violence and Call for Free, Fair and Transparent Elections. The last part of Call for Free, Fair was inserted by our own land council, Council Lewis. It's important to rally members and rally the community and rally the stakeholders. The body is this. We then assign the members of the ULS, government, society, media, and the human rights organizations come together to condemn electoral violence in all its forms and to pledge our collective efforts towards preventing and mitigating its occurrence in Uganda. Recognizing the fundamental right of citizens to participate in peaceful and free elections and the importance of upholding the rule of law and democratic principles. Acknowledging the history of electoral violence and injustice in Uganda, which have marred the country's electoral process and undermined trust and democratic institutions. Noting the disproportionate impact of electoral violence on women, journalists, communities, and the need for targeted measures to protect these groups here. We commit to 1. Promoting free, fair, and peaceful elections through advocacy, education, and community engagement. 2. Supporting victims of violence through legal aid, counseling, and other forms of assistance. Holding perpetrators accountable through robust investigations, prosecutions, and sanctions. 3. Strengthening institutional capacity to prevent and respond to electoral violence, including through training and capacity building of law enforcement, judiciary, and electoral officials. We call upon all stakeholders, including political parties, candidates, and citizens, to join us in this effort to build a culture of peace, tolerance, and respect for human rights in Uganda's electoral processes. This is signed in the U.S. House today, the 15th day of July 2025. Mr. President and our distinguished guests and those that are attending, we are going to endorse upon this document as a commitment that we shall walk the walk in 2026.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving fast into the next agenda item. This is common practice with the Uganda Law Society. We try to make sure it doesn't just go in vain whenever we hold such critical topics, especially in regard to elections. We try to make a commitment, and we are continuing to commit ourselves to the same course. In the meantime, we'd like to make an announcement. Car registration number UBG088M and UBR512B, you are kindly requested to access your vehicle to allow the car behind you to make way. Kindly, UBG088M and UBR512. Kindly, it's urgent. Kindly reach your vehicle wherever you parked it. Mr. President, in the meantime, as you are signing these documents and commitments, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of Advocate Nasa Abed Mudiwole, who is your member as well and was recently a victim of election violence, as you had announced. I will say so. He was arrested on the 16th day of March 2025. He was eventually released on the 23rd day of March 2025, and we had the honor to host him on the 5th day of April 2025 to share his account, and we honored him for standing brave like you have spoken, as it is the case. And we would like to also let you know that with the Uganda Law Society, he is working together hand in hand to eventually petition the Constitutional Court in regard to the unlawful drilling as provided for under Section 45 of the Penal Code Act. We shall be very grateful once we get the support. We thank you. We also recognize the presence of Council Sassi, who was once here with us, that they need so much introduction. We recognize the presence of Council Mosisi, who was here with us. These are the soldiers that you have mentioned, and we have them here with us, and they have been enabling the public with impartation of knowledge. We also have the presence of Council Yasin, who is a stalwart of the Radical New Bloc. He is the head of ideology, and he has a very short message for you as well as the public, and we'd like to invite him to come forth and very briefly, like we say, let's keep knowledgeable of the schedule of the president. Thank you. Thank you very much.